Speaking of humans, today we are going to go on a journey of how humans actually started until now. So today we have a special someone who already has the background of Somaya Toastmasters. So you know he's from Somaya Toastmasters. And Toastmaster Souvik is a good friend, a great Toastmaster. He has been a Toastmaster since 2014. He's been an area director of S4 last year. This year, he is planning to compete, I believe. So in every one of his speeches, you will find those humor and those quick wits. Now, I enjoy the way he describes things. So he has given me a lengthy introduction of himself, but I am not going to delve on that particular aspect. That happy dent smile that you see, that is one good feature of what Souvik is all about, and always ready to help. He sent me what freedom means to him, so I will just read that out. That is something which I want to read. Freedom for me is scrolling through Swiggy, Zomato, and ordering anything I want without having to worry about the number of calories. Now, that is wishful thinking, and you can write a tall tale on that. Thank you so much. Let's welcome the book presenter for today, who will be presenting the book Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari, with a round of applause, thundering applause. Please welcome Toastmaster Souvik. Over to you, Toastmaster Souvik.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Now, before I begin, I would request the timer to give me a heads up in chat somewhere around 17 minutes. Would that be okay? Since I'll be sharing my screen, you will not be able to display your cards. So I request you just give me a reminder around 17 minutes. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much. Now, let me change the mood a bit. Everybody is so happy right now. So let's get a little uncomfortable here, shall we? Now, although this is a book review, but let's discover ourselves. Let me ask you a lot of uncomfortable questions. Let's try and delve within ourselves and understand who we are as we go forward from here. This is not going to be one of those sessions where I'll be telling and you'll be listening with your mute and video off and then thinking, oh, okay, let me read it later on. No, let's discover ourselves in this journey, shall we? I request everyone, wherever possible, to switch on your camera and switch on your video, so that otherwise I'm just sitting in a flat alone in Bangalore and just looking at my laptop, guys. It doesn't make sense unless I see people, that I'm talking to people actually. So let's do that. The first thing that I want to tell every one of you is that 95% of this world's population is very soon going to become useless. That includes many of you sitting right here. There are 24 people, including me. And we might very well be that 95%. I am so glad this is an online meeting. Otherwise, I think I would have got shoes and probably a few slaps and punches on my face. So calling everyone useless in my second slide. So hence the disclaimer that whatever I'm going to say here or whatever I'm going to tell you has been told by the author Yuval Noah Harari, not my words. So if you feel angry towards what I am saying, please redirect it. Now, having said that, let's get on to what we are and where we have begun. Did you know that we were not alone when this all started? There were various types of sapiens, 6 types to be exact. Now, the handyman, the upright man, the Neanderthal, the Denisovans, the hobbit, the starman, a lot of people were there. And we came, Homo sapiens came, but are we the end? Are we the end of evolution? just like the 6 ones before us, would there be 6 more after us as well? Now, another important thing is that we were just another species, right? Just like the jellyfish, just like any other animal in this entire world. We were just another species. That's it. So what is it about us that made us to rule this entire planet? Right now, we are kind of taking decisions on almost every aspect of this particular planet. So what is so special about us? Why are we the best? Why couldn't, let's say, chimpanzees rule the world? Why couldn't, let's say, dinosaurs go extinct, and why couldn't dinosaurs rule the world? Can I have a few answers? You could unmute and say, why are we the best? Why did natural selection choose us, or rather we became the best? Can I have a few answers? What do you guys think? I'm not going to speak the entire time. Yeah.
I think we were the most adaptable.
Okay, we were the most adaptable. Good
due to
line.
our friends.
Okay, any other answers?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Go
Can
ahead.
I go? Yeah. Basically, I feel because of the brain cells that we
Brain
have.
cells?
Yeah.
So do you mean we were more intelligent?
Yes.
Okay, so we were more intelligent, right? And any other answers? Were we the most strongest people? No, right? Intelligence, okay, we had, but it has been found that chimpanzees, for this matter, are more intelligent and use more percentage of their brain than we do. So we are not actually, even as on date, the most intelligent species on this planet. So the answer to all your question was individual greatness of mind or body. Unfortunately, no. The answer why we... Sorry?
Can I say something here?
Yeah, please.
One liner.
Please.
I would, be it brain, be it adaptability, I can say that we are what it takes to rule the world, maybe.
What is it that takes to rule the world? That is my exact question.
I think we have the... Yeah, sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
I think we have the ability to act on what we think.
We have the ability to act on what we think. You think that a lion thought that let's eat this deer, they will not have that ability to act on what they think? All right, so let me try and explore the solution for this. The solution is the ability to collaborate with others. We as an individual are maybe not that powerful, that intelligent, that adaptable, but as a team, as a race, we have the ability to collaborate with others, which no other species have in this entire planet. The ability to form communities, the ability to form countries, the ability to form states, or even a Toastmasters club. So the ability to collaborate is something which sets us completely apart. So that is why we rule this particular planet at this particular time over the last 3,000 years and probably a few more thousand years going ahead as well. Now, have you realized that most of the things us Homo sapiens do are imaginary? The only thing that is natural is probably the biological instincts that we have of food or sleep or so on. Things that we value so much money is actually a make-believe thing that we Homo sapiens have created just for our convenience. It is not natural. We have just conceived this idea of money. So is politics, so is government, and so is economy. We are worried about stock market goes up or down. Who created stock markets? We Homo sapiens. One species out of the millions of species available in this entire planet is interested and knows what money is. Rest 99 million species in this world have no clue what is money. It is all imaginary, people. Let's take a step back and see. We are living in a make-believe world that we have created for ourselves over the last thousands and thousands of years. Does that put things in perspective? What are you running for? Earning money? Hey, that's imaginary. What are you running for? Becoming the president? Hey, that's imaginary as well. What are you running for? To probably invest a little more in stock market. Hey, did I tell you that's imaginary as well? So yeah, most of the things that we crave for are imaginary, make-believe things. But that doesn't make it any less important. It's our ability to imagine things is the reason why we are successful, why we are the supreme leaders of this planet. So do not discount the fact that we can imagine things. We dream, we imagine things. We conceive those ideas and probably we do them with collaboration with other people. Now, let's take a step back to history. A few thousand, when I say few thousand, about 20,000 years ago, we were hunters and gatherers, right? There would be people who would go hunt people and then probably eat them raw at first, then with fire later. Do you see a pattern here? Wait. And then humankind started farming. They decided, or rather they figured out that if they plant a seed, things grow, which they can eat. They need not kill all the time. So from hunters and gatherers, they slowly moved towards farming. You see a pattern here? Now let's move about another 20,000 years, 15,000 years, and quite recently in perspective. Around 1800s, we had the Industrial Revolution. These people who are working in probably farms or hunting in jungles slowly moved into workshops and started working in machines or probably hand tools or something. Do you see a pattern here? From hunters to gatherers to farmers to industrial workers. And you know what happened after the Silicon Valley Revolution came? These guys who are working with CNC machines probably shifted to assembly lines of cars. That's it. But still, they were basically workers who used their hands, who used their physical prowess throughout. So for the last 20,000 million years or so, we are working with our hands. When we say somebody is powerful, we mean their physical prowess. When somebody says, oh, he is so good in his work, we mean he is very good labor. We are laborers. That's our basic fundamental genome that has been put in our brain. Our DNA says that first reach out for it with your hand. First feel it, touch it, see it, smell it, hear it. And then you accept it. This is there in our DNA sequencing. Let that digest for a while. We are all workers. But what has happened over the last, let's say, 50 years? Artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud, which doesn't rain. And then people started talking about SaaS, PaaS, IaaS. Software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Can these four things replace everything that humankind is doing for the last 20,000 years? They can, right? Oh my God. So what are you guys going to do now? Think about it. When, let's say about 20 years back, few people who were still in school, there used to be one wise relative or an uncle who would come, beta, do Java. Huh? Java is the future. Huh? Java. Yeah, Java or C++. That you do that. So we did Java. And now when we know Java, people come and say, no, AI is the future. Huh? Blockchain, AI, huh? That is the future. Huh? We do AI blockchain. What if tomorrow there is something else? What would you do? So my point that I'm getting towards is that whatever we studied in school, how much percentage of that is relevant? And where are we going with that? Let me just circle back to this particular section in few slides. Before that, I would like to know from you guys, what do you think is going to happen if I mean, I'm sure you would have heard this term, right? Everyone in this meeting, all 24 of us have heard AI, blockchain, cloud, all these terms. But how many of you actually know to sit down and log into, let's say, AWS platform and write an S3 programming? How many of you can go into an Azure and start typing that, hey, okay, let me connect one computer which is there in Brazil, another computer which is there in US and mine, and see how to collaborate with the team? How many of you know that Amazon's algorithm to suggest you the next product that you would buy? All right, let's have some answers. I'm sorry. Let's have some answers. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think we are going to move past this, or we are going to go back to algebra, mathematics, chemistry, all those things that we studied in school, or what is it going to be? What are your thoughts? Kindly unmute and respond. Please don't put it in chat. I can't see the chat.
Well, one thing is for sure, we are not going back to algebra. Definitely the things are going to get maybe probably more complicated in the future.
Okay.
Things will be probably more automated.
Okay. So I'll take the word complicated from your entire sentence here. All right. Okay, I'm holding that. What can we have a few more answers, please? That's a very interesting thought, by the way. Yeah. What do you think is going to be the future? Can I have a few answers, please?
What I believe probably is like how internet was a hype or a boom in the 1990s when it was growing in the world. Right now, we're in that same phase when it comes to AI, blockchain, and everything. So probably another 10-15 years, half of the blockchain companies won't exist, but the core ones would still become the next Amazon, Google. Never know.
Okay. Great thoughts there. Great thoughts there. I would like to illustrate this entire. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think we should not be so much paranoid.
Okay.
Though we are anticipating that our current skills are going to be outdated, but as we have always been, we have been adaptable. We will find new roles. We will find new ways to add value to the society.
Okay.
Along with AI, blockchain, and other stuff. These are not going to replace us. These are going to be our greatest weapons and tools. But I think we will still be the center of the world.
Amazing. I was waiting for exactly this answer. Let me just take you through a small case study. Of 80% of it is fact and 20% is hypothesis of future, right? To say that, let me ask you, what do you think is the GDP of Bangladesh currently? Please don't Google, just based on your perception. How much should it be, or at what rate it is growing approximately? Can I have a few answers? What do you think?
I'm not sure how much is the GDP, but definitely they are growing with a greater number than India.
Okay, that's a very good comparison benchmark. Any figures you have in mind? Anybody else think what is the percentage at which it is growing? What is the size, etc., etc.? Any idea? Ballpark figure maybe?
100 billion, just a guess.
Okay, 100 billion. And what percentage it is growing on? Somebody said it is higher than India. Is it actually, or is it lower? Or Bangladesh is a small country. Come on, guys. What do you think is the percentage of growth? Yeah,
it's more than 7.
It's more than
7%.
Okay, it's more than 7. Okay. All right. So, very good answer. It is close to 100 billion, and it is going at 6.8%. This is today morning's data of Wikipedia. Now, we were having a debate last September whether it is 5%. Our finance minister said it's 5%. Moody's rating downgraded us to 3.5, etc., etc. So Bangladesh is close to double the pace of growth is sort of double, but it doesn't make sense because we are in trillions and they are still in billion. But that's not the point here. Point is that how does Bangladesh's economy run? Bangladesh's economy run on cotton. They have mastered the ability to take cotton, convert it into any sort of clothing material and export it. All the top-notch brands that you see, whether it is Gucci or whether it is all those French brands that we see in Paris Fashion Weeks, every one of them has been made in Bangladesh, exported there, and we buy it back in India, whoever buys it. So that is how the economy is growing. Every house has a handloom. Every village has a cotton plant. Every industrial town has an export center. That is how the country is going. And it is doing very well for itself, by the way. This was the fact. Now, let me take you to a hypothetical situation. Let's say in about 5 years or so, a machine is discovered in, let's say, Sweden or Switzerland or Denmark, probably one of these countries. They'll do it because they're very advanced in technology. So when it does it, what this machine does is takes cotton from one end, you program it, and that exact size, exact color, exact clothing comes out from the other end, without the intervention of even a single person in this entire value chain. What do you think is going to happen to entire Bangladesh economy overnight? The entire country is based on this. And when such a machine comes, which it will, by the way, which it will, what do you think is going to happen to the economy of an entire country? This is just to put a perspective. And what are we teaching the kids in Bangladesh at school? Most of what they currently learn is probably be irrelevant by the time they are 40. Are we teaching them AI? Are we teaching them blockchain? Are we teaching them how to program a cloud? Or are we expecting the giants of this world to teach that? Are we expecting Google to say, hey, you know what? 5 years later, you'll go bankrupt. So here, learn cloud. Is the Googles of this world doing that? Is the Microsoft of this world or Apples of this world doing that? Or so-called, what is it called? FANG nowadays, right? Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. Are the FANGs of this world helping the economy of the so-called developing countries foreseeing the future? Which they can, by the way. So where are we going with this? Where we are going is towards becoming a useless class. There was 1% of people who will still be relevant. You know, the archaeologist. Archaeologists can't be replaced by AI. And a few other professions. But other than that, we will have a plethora of people whose skills would not be required. Although I am at this moment not really discouraging anyone, but at the same time, be aware of situation that is going to come. And if history has told us anything, it is this: it will come sooner or later. So what do? Did we learn Java during our school days? Did we learn AI right now? What would we learn in the future? Master the art of learning rather than learning the skill itself. That way, if tomorrow, instead of AI, there is a BI, you know how to learn it. So master the art of learning rather than learning a skill itself. And there was a beginning. There was a day when the Homo sapiens woke up and said, let me rule this planet, hypothetically speaking. That one day was probably lasted about 100 years, but yeah. And then there will be an end if history is any evidence to what has been happening over the million years. What do? Find happiness on the way. And as Ironman said, part of the journey is the end. So find happiness on the way. That's what we can do. And this on the way would last probably several 100 lifetimes of ours and our generations. But this would come. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for bearing with me while I made you uncomfortable. Now I'll open the floor for questions if there are any.
I have one, if I may.
Sure.
So if we were to draw a parallel, now what difference, aren't we like repeating the history when we talk about like beta Java kar lo? I mean, from that thing to a stage where we are talking about blockchain and AI related things. So it's like the vicious cycle, repeating something.
So what is the question?
So how do we like, overcome this barrier and go beyond this cycle? I mean, how do generally people can, try to look beyond what's obvious?
Yeah. So one thing that somebody mentioned very rightly, things were never the same. It is never going back to the same, and it will never be the same again. I think I answered this particular question. So rather than picking up a skill or learning the skill itself, it's better for us to learn how to learn. So when a new skills come tomorrow, we are equipped. Oh, this is how I have to learn. I'll take about 36 hours to probably understand the basics of it. If I'm interested, I'll do a 6 months course. So have that mindset that your learning will never stop in this lifetime, and have that ability that you will be able to learn things as they come. That's the only way, as per me. Thanks for that, Rajveer. Do we have any more questions?
So good news for us coaches. We believe in growth mindset. Today, we might not have the skills, but maybe tomorrow we will learn and keep learning and try to go forward with it. So I love this particular way that you presented about questioning, and you focused on the things which were necessary. I wanted to know about that part which actually shook me. The way we actually made a lot of species extinct. Okay, so if you talk about mass murderers, Homo sapiens will be the one who are at the top. So in order to be on the top, okay, so we usually despise that particular aspect that, oh he is so rich, so he might have done something wrong in his lifetime, maybe murdered someone, maybe did something wrong, and that's why you are there. But our history is that. Our history is where we let that particular thing for thousands of years, and then we reach that particular thing. So I really loved the way you had that positivity in your approach, though, when you read the 400 odd pages that, you suddenly get a jolt into what exactly and it's not very, see, you made it look so nice, right? And when you read that, how were we, and so thank you so much. Are there any questions? I just wanted to share this. Does anyone want to share anything? Does anyone have any questions?
I think everybody is a little shook
Hello,
up.
Yeah, Rahul, you were saying something.
Yeah, actually, I was very, very inspired, and actually, I was laughing throughout the presentation. And the part that struck me the most was, now you have to learn Java, then you have to learn Python. Like that reconnected to me so much, because that's exactly my experience in engineering days, and that is evident, right? So I really like that, and I just wanted to bring that up. So great job on the presentation.
Thanks, Rahul. And everyone who was
when you were speaking
90s
about
born,
that particular, sorry,
90s or earlier born, I think everyone has that experience of that wise uncle coming up and telling what to do with our lives.
Believe me, when you were saying Java, I could only think of Mar Java, Mit Java, Sadke Java. That is it. I didn't know anything about Java and how exactly to go about, and what if this happens, then, you know. But yes, if we keep on learning quickly, then it's possible. Yeah, Shripad, you have
If you don't mind, if the time permits, can I ask the question?
Yes, yes, please. You are the timer. You
Yeah,
have the
of
time
course.
in your control.
I'm like Doctor Strange. So yeah, as the book reviewer answered that instead of focusing on a particular skill, we should focus on learning the art of learning. So whenever a new skill comes, we will learn it in a quickest manner. So, learning, in my opinion, learning needs curiosity. It needs learning spirit. It needs a childishness, curiosity. As we grow older, somehow due to this injustice world or hectic world, we become dull and tired and fatigued. Do you have any tips to how to keep that learning spirit alive so that we can cope up with this world and implement your solution in practically?
I'm not that wise, wise person who will tell you and all that, but I'll give you my experience. Now, as Yoda says, you do, you do not, there is no try. So would you do a course in Udemy or Coursera where you would not share that certificate in LinkedIn after you're done? Would you like to do a course which you will not put it in your resume? Do you want to do a course just because you like doing it? That is your calling. That is your calling. If you would not like to share that certificate in social media after you're done doing that course, that is your calling. Everything else you're doing because of your need, not your curiosity. Someone has said Power BI seekh le maza aayega. That's why you are doing it. Someone said Tableau is the need of the hour, so you have to do for your next promotion. You do it. These are need, nothing to do with curiosity, boss. But if you do a course and you would not share that certificate, nobody in this world would know about that course that you have done. Would you still do it? Ask yourself. If yes, that is your calling. That's just my 2 cents.
And if you can't, hire a coach. I will help you.
Marketing.
Okay, so thank you so much, Souvik. Shripad, I believe your answer, your question was answered. We are running short of time, so thank you very much, Toastmaster Souvik. It was a pleasure. And after reading Sapiens, I couldn't have asked for a better review.